Okay, so today's opener is going to be very similar to what you guys did yesterday, with the exception, instead of giving you guys the inequality and having you graph it, I basically graphed it for you, and you guys have to pick the inequality that matches the graph. Okay? So,
It has to be this one.
we know we can do this through process of elimination. We can eliminate automatically 2 of these inequalities. How can I automatically eliminate 2 of these inequalities? No?
No, the greater than or equal to.
So I can eliminate the ones with the greater than or less than and equal to signs. Good, because my boundary line is dashed. So I know that these symbols, the greater than or equal to, have a solid line. So now I'm down to these 2. Do you guys want a shortcut? You guys want me to teach you a shortcut?
Yes, I do know whether or not which way is outlined.
Well, that's what I'm going to show you. So let's start with our test point. What's our test point that we like to use? 0, 0. Okay. So if I would put 0 as less than, what's negative 0 plus 7? What's 0 plus 7? Okay. Or then my other one would be 0 is greater than, what's 0 plus 7? 7. Which one of these, so now remember.
It's the C.
Which one do you think it is?
C.
Okay, so what's true?
C.
0,
No, it's C.
it's going to be C. Why?
Because it's less than 7.
But if that was true, wouldn't I shade my solution?
It's D.
It is going to be D. Because why?
Because it's not true.
Because it's not true. Because remember, so this one actually is true, right? But if it was true, that would mean this side is shaded. But since that side is not shaded, that means that the solution was false, so we're going to go with D. Yes?
So does that kind of work as the same thing as whichever one the arrow's pointing?
No. That's a good guess, though. Okay. What if you don't like that style?
I would have hoped
So
so.
another way that you guys could solve it, though, you could say, okay, y equals mx plus b, right? So I know my y-intercept is 7. I know my slope is negative 1 over 1. So then you guys would have to sit there and do a test point and then still solve. So, questions on that? Okay, let's take a look at our next one. So we can easily cross out 2 of these answers. Which answers can I immediately cross out?
C and D.
C and D, because it's based on my boundary line. This time my boundary line is solid. Now, which other one can I automatically cross out?
B. And yeah, B.
B. Why?
Because it's Y. Not X.
So our answer is going to be A,
Well, I just guessed.
because it's a y-intercept, right? Or it's an x-intercept. If it was a y-intercept, it would be a horizontal line. But it was an x-intercept because it's the line that's going through my x-axis, and it's a vertical line. Okay, let's take a look on the back. So our one on the back says, graph the following inequality.
Okay. I have a question. On the quiz, do we have to box it?
Yeah, you'll want to box your final answer.
Okay.
Okay, so graph the following inequality. What am I going to have to do in order to graph this?
Get it in simplest form.
Not simplest form,
Y equals mx plus B.
slope-intercept
Oh,
form.
I thought I was saying.
So I have 3x
I was right. I was saying.
minus y is greater than 4. Now, like multiple choice, you circle the answer. The answer is the answer. But if you have a bunch of work and I'm looking for a particular answer, then you need to box it. Okay, so Josh said we're going to get the y by itself. How do I do that?
Minus 3x.
Minus 3x. So I have negative y is greater than, what do I bring down?
3x plus 4.
Okay.
Divide by negative 1 on each side.
Alright, man. Speak up.
So when I divide by negative 1, what's the sign flips? Negative 3 divided by negative 1 equals 3x. Then 4 divided by negative 1 is? Okay. Now I'm ready to graph, correct? So when I go to graph this, what do I graph first?
4. Negative 4.
And so I go to my origin and go which way?
Down 4.
Okay, then I graph my
3x.
what?
3.
Over 1. Yeah, my slope. So 1, 2, 3, 1. And what kind of line am I going to draw?
Dotted.
I'll draw a dotted line. You guys' line should be much better than mine. Okay.
Hand me that yellow.
So what we've done so far is completed step 1 and 2. If you have your notes out, what's my third step going to be?
Figure out whether or not you shade it.
Shadow.
And I determine how I'm going to shade based on what? Test point, which usually I want to use.
0, 0.
The only time I can't use 0, 0 as a test point is if it crosses through that origin. Okay? So what that means, I go up to my original inequality and I substitute 0. So what's 3? If I substitute 0 for x, what's 3 times 0? Okay? Then minus 0 is?
0.
Okay? So basically it means 0 is greater than 4. Is that true or is that false?
False.
Okay, so if that's false, I run away from the solution. So I shade the opposite side. Now, if my solution was true, I would shade the true side. So here on this example, you would not have to box anything because it's not asking you to find the x-intercept. It's just asking you to graph it. So your answer would be this graph. Yes, Hannah? Number 2 was letter A because it's the y-intercept. Josh?
So if it's false, you always shade the right side?
No, not always shade the right side. You shade the opposite. So like whichever side the solution's on. If it's true, like see how I always write my ordered pair right where the ordered pair would be found? Because if it's true, I'm going to color that ordered pair over, the side that the ordered pair is on. If it's false, I'm going to shade the other side. And it just depends on how your line's drawn, if it's a positive or negative line. I know, does that make your head spin?
It's so confusing.